Doing wonderfully, and yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I don't really know what to expect either from DD Dota, but at least the names are pretty familiar, and I've seen them around, but not in the past month or so. I don't think I've seen Rise, Baby Knight, and Ace all play together. As for HeHe United, um, I've been seeing them a little bit more, but we have a draft starting, and we'll just have to see how it pans out for either team. Brewmaster and Viper, the first bans from HeHe, and Io and Death Prophet taken up by Team DD. HeHe will start things off with the first pick, Elder Titan, and Vengeful Spirit first pick for DD. Potentially Puck is their second pick, as that's usually an opener. There are a lot of teams are pretty partial to, but just as a support in and of herself, Vengeful Spirit's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I have to say that the like I think 4 games I've seen of them over the past 2 or 3 days, they have gone for Elder Titan every single time if given the opportunity. They've also ran quite a lot of Zeus or maybe even Abaddon to just back people up and whatnot. So I'm kind of expecting them to go for maybe something a little bit similar, and yeah, Elder Titan, Venomancer has been one of the just starting figures in their lineups as well. So we might very well see like maybe a Dazzle, Abaddon, something along those lines coming out if they're going for a similar strategy as they've just been prone to run recently.
Yeah, if it's not broken and you're comfortable doing it, I suppose don't fix it and just go for what you're comfortable with. Jakiro's the next choice for DD, and this Elder Titan Venomancer combination, it is pretty scary. Just as far as raw damage is concerned, being able to take away all of their base resist and then dropping a Venomancer ulti, especially if it has Aghanim Scepter at level 2 or 3, can be an absurd amount of damage, pretty much killing somebody outright if you have any way to tick them over the edge. Next banning stage has already come out with HeHe banning out the Drill Ranger and the Ember Spirit with Vengeful Spirit Jakiro. That opening definitely does lend itself to Drill Ranger lineup, so it's probably safer just to ban it out. DD potentially doing some of the research to ban out the Zeus, and Slark just a really solid carry that could have worked well with them, also taken out of the pool.
Yeah, Slark also one of the heroes that he just loved to run. I guess they started with kind of like when Sexy Bambo was standing in for them, then they really started picking up the Slark, but it kind of stuck with them. But the Zeus, like I said, doing some research there. Of course, you did mention that Venomancer, once you get the Poison Nova off, you need so little extra to just tip them over the edge, and Thunder God's Wrath might have been just exactly that spell. Because the last I saw he play, it was like a 3 or 4 man gank against the solo Venomancer. And Solo Venomancer ended up with like getting 1 kill and bringing 2 heroes down to like 100 HP or something, just with that ultimate, nothing else. It is ridiculous how strong that ability can be if you get off to a great start, and they are most likely, or at least they have ran the Venomancer in a core role as well, which will mean that the Aghanim Scepter will come within a reasonable timing.
Yeah, as for DD, they're going to open up the second picking stage with an Ogre Magi, pretty much securing that one of these heroes is going to be played in a core role, probably the Jakiro. Although I'm always holding up for a core Ogre, it's probably not going to happen. It looks like it's just going to be like an offlane dual lane, or just offlane Jakiro straight up. HeHe, they are going to go for the Abaddon that you're talking about earlier, so apparently no big surprises. It's going to be pretty nice to purge off the stuns coming out from Team DD, but honestly, they're not the longest of duration stuns, and they have plenty to follow up afterwards. It's going to be some nice utility for HeHe, but it's not as useful as it would be up against, per se, like a Beastmaster Roar or Mirana Arrow.
It's definitely not going to be, and it might become a huge issue for them as well. Of course, Abaddon will also have the Mist Coil to just maybe delay out the death anyway. So we'll see. Usually I would think like maybe Abaddon Weaver, something along those lines, but like I said, they have so many stuns already as it is, so even the Weaver might not be safe, even with the Abaddon backing him up. So what do you think, like what core would even fit their kind of lineup at this point?
Honestly, I think you do go for something along the lines of the Weaver, even though it's risky. I think you've kind of like just made all of these heroes to back up one, to buff up the damage, as well as just to secure some extra space with the Venomancer and then to secure team fights. So I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I haven't watched HeHe as much as you have. I've just been on the opposite stream and somehow have managed to avoid them over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, honestly, I have no idea. The Weaver's the first one that comes to mind, but it's definitely not going to be as secure as you'd like it to be.
Yeah, it's really up to them, I guess, in the end. But TD Dota, picking up a Faceless Void. Of course, Faceless Void with the extra Bloodlust, attack speed is definitely going to be scary. Just more time locks, more bashes, equals more damage as well at the same time. And Macro Pyre into the Chronosphere or something like those lines. And if not nothing else, also, if even if they get off to a great start, pushing high ground will be extremely difficult if you're facing a Chronosphere there. Of course, they have Plague Wars to maybe just kind of ease the transition into high ground push or something, but even so, it's going to be somewhat hard.
Yeah, it definitely is. Outside of the hero, they don't have very much else to pump inside the Chronosphere, so maybe their mid hero is going to be one that offers quite a lot of damage inside the Chrono if they really want to commit hard to it. And Invoker wouldn't go amiss in DD's lineup, and potentially is even banned out by HEHE. For now, it looks like HEHE are going to be the ones to show their cards. I'm really interested to see what they pick, but right now, it just feels like DD have a really well-rounded lineup. It really isn't all that faulty. He's laning stage is going to be incredibly weak, with Elder Titan presumably in the off lane or mid, Abaddon as a support. It just doesn't feel like they're going to be able to accomplish much, except for Soak Experience, and even then, these heroes aren't very smashy when they get their levels. It's not like, I can't even think of it, like a Timbersaw, once he gets like level 7 or 8, where you can always find kills just with the Timber Chain Chakram extra damage. You get some nice utility, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, it is going to be somewhat difficult for them for sure. And well, if DD was denial instead, I would expect maybe even a Tinker to come out with the Chronosphere combination. Just definitely would be a strong one. But I'm not too sure how many teams or just players like to pick up a Tinker these days anyways. But he going for a Naga Siren now, so going back towards a really like late game kind of core for themselves. It does maybe switch away a little bit, but I guess their passive laning phase might even benefit from just having a Naga Siren as well, Abaddon keeping her alive and everything.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the plan for HEHE. They're just looking to slow down this game as long as possible. Their wave clear is pretty weak until Naga Siren gets a Radiance. You pretty much just have the Astral Spirit from the Elder Titan, that's about it. But their defense is pretty good, with the Venomancer, Plague Word, Song to delay, and what have you. It's probably HEHE's best chance to win this game, just to I don't know, wait until Naga Siren gets absolutely huge. Even though Faceless Void, if he finds the real Naga Siren, given a 6-slotted versus 6-slotted scenario, can burst her down inside the duration of a single Chronosphere. So that's always pretty risky. If they can play the game that they want, the game that they want to play is the slow and long game, they'll be in a great situation. But I think DD have enough ways to control the pace of it to where they're probably going to be denied that.
Oh, well, Petra definitely a strong hero to ban out in almost any situation, really. That's just such a strong hero. But Storm Spirit, the last ban from HEHE themselves, I guess Storm Spirit could have been one of the heroes that kind of maybe even just jumps Abaddon straight away, Orchid him up or something, or Orchid also a pretty good ability to deal with the Naga Siren, even the Venomancer, make sure the Poison Nova doesn't come out before the death end. Just, I guess Storm Spirit is a strong hero, although I have to say, I've seen so many failed Storm Spirits. It feels like I've only seen failed Storm Spirits, to be honest, even in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely. It's just not something that gets played a whole lot anymore. It's going to be a sniper for DD, and honestly, I'm quite partial to this pick. They have nothing to really jump into the face of this sniper, and with Storm Spirit and Batrider banned out, I'm not sure a single pick is going to do it for them. I think Sniper is going to have plenty to sit on the backlines, get his damage off, and with Bloodlust as well as the Vengeance Aura buffing it up, I think this is probably a really good sniper game, even though I usually don't say that.
It's definitely going to be pretty decent, at least. It feels like it should be in theory. We'll see, maybe his last pick will completely just blow our minds. It's like, oh crap, that's the perfect pick for them. But at the moment, like I said, Sniper might actually have a pretty good game. Vengeful also being there with the swap, and oh god, I mean, I'm a little bit afraid for HEHE even with the kind of passive laning phase that they're promising to have with the pickups that they have. They might struggle extremely. Abaddon, can he even leave the Naga Siren, for example? Vengeful Spirit Ogre would be really adept just roamers as well into the mid lane.
Yeah, and then can they even be comfortable taking this late? Up against a Faceless Void and a Sniper, I'm not sure, especially given the heroes that they have. Generally, Sniper falls off late game when distance becomes less of a buffer for you, but they don't have a great way to jump into his face. Even if you have like a 4-staff Yules from the Elder Titan, that's probably the best initiation they're going to have. Clockwork is a really nice pick for HEHE, and I think it's necessary. But even if you deal with the Sniper, Faceless Void's going to be there with the Time Lock Chronosphere. I quite like DD's lineup. But they definitely have a chance to win. Like, don't count them out in this draft. I think it's probably like a 60-40 draft win for DD.
I would kind of have to agree with you there as well. It is going to be really all the pressure on HEHE to just get the Naga Siren farmed. So, we'll see, of course, DD themselves. Sniper isn't the like safest hero to be in the mid lane, but with the heroes that HEHE has, it's going to be extremely hard for them to actually gank or do anything to the Sniper. So, we'll see, but what kind of lanes do you expect them to have here? For HEHE, that is.
For HEHE, Mid Clockwork offlane Elder Titan, or switch the two. Just safe lane tri-lane with Veno Abba plus Naga.
I guess that's probably what they're going to run at. I would only expect that just from having HWA and the Clockwork, so Clockwork mid lane maybe. Although, if the Clock is mid lane, how well do you think it's even going to do against what is most likely going to be a sniper mid?
He shouldn't be completely zoned out, but it's not going to be a great lane at all for him. And actually, for now, Clockwork, he's kind of making his way towards the off lane. Elder Titan starts out with boots first, so... looks like Slavi's going to be taking up the mid on the Naga. Excuse me, it looks like that's going to be the thing. GG Have Fun's already come out, so they've completely given up. Never mind that, it's just a mistype. There we go.
Well, at least, funny enough, knock on wood, whatever, man. But there are no pauses yet. But to introduce the lineups fast, for DD Dota Ace, we will be playing the Jakiro, leaving Rise on the Ogre Magi, with Crit on the Vengeful, Baby Knight playing the Sniper, and the last one for them will be Blan on the Faceless Void. But if only they had stayed behind the trees for a little while longer there, maybe would have just caught the hero, but don't think they can catch anything now.
Yeah, they'll bump into a Kimbro on the Abaddon as well as Elder Titan, played by Nihiz, but they don't actually find anything. Venomancer are going to be played by Nicobaby, and it looks like this is instead going to be our defensive tri-lane with Naga Siren in the mid, played by Slavi, and offlane Clockwork by HWA. Sniper versus Naga Siren, I can't exactly say that's a favorable matchup for Naga Siren, but at the very least, she shouldn't be in too much trouble unless these supports are roaming, and I think that's the bigger issue for them, because they definitely can.
They most certainly can do so. Maybe Abaddon is really going to have to put a lot of focus there. Maybe carry a TP. It's not as easy as an Abaddon maybe to even just stop the gank as it would be if you're an Earthshaker, for example, just because you have to get a little bit closer for that. Otherwise, as an Earthshaker, you can just sit on the high ground on top of the stairs and just come in with the Fissure if need be. But a Photic Shield, then again, might be better in some cases, so we'll see how they work out. And Baby Knight, of course, early on, starts with rather low damage, so Naga Siren at the very least she'll be able to get the bottle and maybe the boots to follow as well. And if she gets those, probably will be able to just bottle up every single rune almost. And with that, just spam Mirror Image and Riptide to farm. At least farm safely.
Yeah, looks like DD have actually thought twice about this. They're going to, instead of going for a full aggressive tri-lane, go for a dual lane setup. Down in bottom, Loba is going to be running the polling operations, and it's just going to be Ogre Jakiro towards the off lane. They're going to be able to accomplish a decent amount, get some levels on both of these heroes, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Honestly, I'd prefer Rise and Vengeful Spirit just to be partnered up through the entire game, and mostly look to roam on this Naga.
I would have really expected them to do that same thing as well. It is definitely nice if you can actually pull in your own jungle, but Nicobaby in some trouble. Dual Breakfast there, Fire Blast used as well, but the Venom scale onto Ace, they want to turn around Nihis, will come in with 10 plus 26 damage, trying for the TP out. He's gonna succeed as well, nicely done, and Rise, don't think he's in too much trouble. If the Venom scale had connected an Ogre as well, would have been screwed royally, but they do make it out, of course. Still some gold and time wasted from the Jakiro just having to TP out, but it's fine, at least they don't give away first blood.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and honestly, HEHE, they have no way to cancel TPs outside of Naga Siren's net, Stomp from the Elder Titan, which isn't up yet, and Clockwork in his Battery Assault hook shot. Speaking of Clockwork down in bottom, it's going to be the Ogre, my goodness, up in top, fighting up against Nicobaby after a Gale. Looks like they were just able to give him the beatdown with the Elder Titan. I was not expecting that to be your first blood. Ogre just finding himself out of position, but there you have it.
Yeah, I pretty much caught the last smack on camera as well, so first blood, not missed, hell yeah! Was pretty close. I was checking out bottom lane as well at the time, but suddenly saw that Ogre, he was surrounded by enemy heroes. So, thank God that every now and then I actually look at the minimap as well. So they claimed the first blood, and this dual off lane suddenly became a lot less just successful for them. Of course now Rise, maybe heading towards the mid lane, or well, he is heading towards it at the moment. Has the level 2, so we'll have the Ignite and the Fire Blast both. Might be enough, but then again, Slavi has a haste rune, so when he has that, I highly doubt that Sniper, even with the help of Ogre, can get the kill.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening at all. Slavi should be completely fine. Worst case scenario, has to pop the Ace rune. Honestly, I'm not even sure if he's going to be forced to do that. So yeah, I think Rise, he's not really going to be able to accomplish anything. He might harass the Naga Siren a little bit, which is kind of useful, but outside of that, DD, it's looking okay for them, even though the top lane's not going great. Their mid lane's trading evenly in farm, and Faceless Void is farming better than the Venomancer on the enemy side. And as far as who I'd rather have farm on, Bland is probably a better candidate than this Venom. Although getting an Aghanim Scepter early on, or a mechanism for the team, is pretty darn scary. Faceless Void is going to inevitably scale better late game. So I don't know. Right now, it feels kind of even though the first blood was given, the way of HEHE, Gold and Experience are pretty much evened out, or negligible lead towards either side.
It's really nothing this early on. Of course, it's only 2.5 minutes in, as we do get an unfortunate pause. I was totally hoping that it's going to be one of the games that just... I think like maybe 1 out of 100 games feels like doesn't have a single pause in it. But this just goes into the 99 of the ones having it. It's really sad, but we don't even know what's the real pause. Just sec, sorry. That's always the best reasoning. Guys, just wait for nothing. We don't know what's going on, just wait.
Yeah, it's also the most infuriating reason to pause. I don't know. I mean, I'd be okay if like they just gave a reason. It'd make it a lot easier to wait.
They never do though. It's at least almost never. Sometimes it's like door or something like that, but looks like they are ready now. Okay, HW put on his tournament socks. I guess he's pumped. At least he's been talking in caps for quite some time already.
Yeah, that's always nice when we have players that are excited to play the game. So HWA, this clockwork is ready. For now, he's just getting levels. Once he gets to level 6, I think he really needs to be the playmaker for HEHE. If he's able to find some kills, especially on like the sniper, then things are going to be looking up for them. But if this clockwork doesn't find those initiations and doesn't start fights for HEHE, it's more or less a dead pick for them. And he is going to get level 6 at a decent time, because for the most part he has been left 1v1 versus the Void.
Yeah, that's really the most important part. Although struggling in last hits, does need at level 6. I guess Shakira is a little bit similar to that as well. Really wants to hit at level 7, get the level 4 liquid fire, and we'll be fine from there on really. Side pull attempted by Nihis or stacking, not even too sure. Maybe both at the same time. And now with the Astral Spirit returning through that creep wave, if only he would have some uptime of just actually right clicking people. And he's gonna go for ace potential here. No ice path. They will have the stuns to actually stop him of course, but plus 50 damage. They just can't do anything but run away from him.
Yeah, that's a level 1 Astral Spirit as well. It's only going to get better from here, and even if they don't actually farm this thing up, it is going to be constant damage for the Elder Titans. So I quite like that they win for that, especially since DD don't have the best heroes to farm up that stack, especially until Jakiro gets more levels, in particular level 6. At that point, dropping a Macropyre in there definitely is worth it if you can secure that farm.
Oh, it most certainly is, if they can do it. The too bad about the tri-lane of HEHE at the moment though is that Akim Bro, he doesn't really have any offensive capabilities. I mean, Aphotic Shield when it pops, yes it does damage, you can use the Mist Coil offensively as well. But they really need the Venom Scale to connect, and they don't have pretty much any setup for it. So with Venom Scale not landing, there's almost no chance that they will actually get the kill on anybody.
Yeah. So for now, we're in for a passive laning stage, and that looks pretty darn good for HEHE. Nagasarn is potentially just bottle crowing. Looks like that's the plan for the Naga, saying Curiator herself. It's probably just going to be like the Aquila into Radiant Rush.
He did get Venomous Scale. Can they get the kill as well? Aphotic Shield onto Nihis, hitting for quite a lot of damage, but the Fire Blast keeps him alive. Mist Coil as well, it's not gonna be enough. That's what you get from a Venomous Scale level 1, just no damage. And all in all, being in a tri-lane, rather low damage, and they get the kill on Clockwork at the same time. Chronosphere not even needed, just Magic Missile minus armor and Time Walk.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, for that last kill, up towards top, tangoing up, the Jakiro is able to survive through all of that. The kill score is 1-1. I don't think that really changes the state of the game, although it is going to be unfortunate for the Clockwork. He is going to get very close to his level 6 pretty darn soon. Almost level 5, just 1 or 2 creeps away from that. With the Battery Assault, he should keep himself safe. He's going to get bashed, but now being very aggressive up against Bland. No mana for a Time Walk, now Cogs in. Bland might be giving up a kill here as HWAs find a beautiful opening. He is going to be able to eat through the Cogs, but not before the Battery Assault ticks him down. And HWA, with that last kill, is going to have level 6.
That was really beautiful done. For a second I thought like Battery Assault maybe was activated a little bit too early on and they can't actually get it, but they did it in the end. Although top lane, looks like the farming of the stack has begun at the same time. As the Spirit comes through, he's on zoning duties. Echo Stomp is there, but does not land on Ace, so no Venomous Scale to follow, and well, never mind, had it landed, no mana on Nico Baby anyway. But can they even farm up the stack? I mean, it's gonna take them quite some time with the Satyr Tormentor just Unholy Aura being there for the creeps. Oh god, this looks like a real mess here with the Plague Wards and like a triple stack, or is it even a quad stack here?
It's at least a quad. I see Chicken, Two Satyrs, Centaur, and Dark Troll. I think that's even 5 as Sniper kills off the Naga with a rotation of the Ogre Giant Vengeful Spirit. That's the power of the roaming of Rise and Lobo that we were talking about inside the draft. Just double stun. And then Baby Knight with the ultimate to finish things off.
Well, it definitely is hard for Naga Siren to survive that. And they don't have any proper vision at the moment up as well, although Clockwork now with the Invis rune has the hookshot ready. Maybe gonna run into supports. Against 3 heroes it's gonna be of course hard to do anything, but Naga doesn't have the song either, so can't really set things up perfectly. But Baby Knight, is he gonna be screwed? The hookshot comes in, Cogs to follow as well, but never mind, no Cogs, Magic Missile stops it, and never mind, the Fire Blast was coming out first, but HWA gonna go down, Shrapnel is there as well. They might even lose Slavi here if they get another stun. Oh man, too bad Ogre didn't have enough mana for the Ignite there.
Yeah, it really is. Baby Knight was bottling up. Maybe if he bottled up the Ogre as well, they could have gotten some more, but with an Abaddon TPing in, it's unlikely either way. But this middle lane, that's a complete disaster for them. 2 kills that Sniper's been involved in, getting the kill on the Naga, as well as that Clockwork. That first rotation with Hookshot completely messing up. So we'll have to see if HWA is able to pick up the slack, but for now the advantage that he got by killing off the Void is pretty much gone. The farming of the stack continues, but it is incredibly slow. Like, you have no idea. Liquid Fire and what have you is annoying, but it's pretty much a toss-up to whether who gets the last hits or not.
Yeah, Jakiro is stealing the XP from that anyway, so he's perfectly fine with that, really. Even maybe getting a few last hits for himself. And Faceless Void, they get the kill bottom lane as... Man, I just can't look away from those creeps being farmed up. It's just such a cluster F, man. But Jakiro up to 26 last hits as well. So, doing pretty well for this offlane Jakiro, to be honest. Started off a little bit slow, but picking up pace.
Yeah. First use of Chrono gets you a kill, and that's not to be unexpected. Faceless Void has gone into treads, and it kind of feels like he's just going to go for Mask of Madness. A pretty standard build. I think going for a Midas this game wouldn't have been a bad choice by the Faceless Void. Slavi stunned up, Bounty Rune stole, and now with Rise coming in here, a little bit of body block attempted, but they'll have a Sniper ultimate, and Slavi is going to die one way or another. With the Ignite, they might not even need to use the Assassinate, and indeed they won't. They'll just run him down.
They were lacking a little bit of mana for the Assassinate, so thank God for them, they did manage to run him down, of course, Face Boots and Sniper. And this is just Naga Siren not putting a single point into the song. Maybe that's a little bit too greedy, even especially against the roaming potential of DD. Maybe he's thinking like, okay, he can assassinate me anyway from a long distance when I activate the song and he's not that close, or I'm not too sure what's the thought process, but I really would have liked to see that 1 point into the song.
Yeah, I would have as well. Baby Knight, he made the decision to go for Shrapnel instead of Assassinate, so it was a conscious decision whether or not he'd go for it, and I think it's fine that he did. They end up getting kills, so nothing's actually lost, and Baby Knight's well on his way to being a pretty darn scary hero. Currently 4-1 and 2 Sniper. With that maxed out Shrapnel can put a decent amount of damage into the tower. For now, he probably doesn't want to do any more than 1 Shrapnel onto that tower to avoid putting it into deny range, but Baby Knight's also hitting pretty darn hard, and he's sitting on almost 1900 gold. What that's going to be for Baby Knight, I have no idea, but I presume it's just going to be some raw damage for him.
Yeah, and him having already 3 points to take aim as well will just mean that you can outrange towers. And once they actually group up, maybe even start the Death Ball when they have the Chronosphere off cooldown. And Jakiro, he has the level 4 Liquid Fire, so between the Shrapnel as well as the Liquid Fire, they have a crazy amount of pushing, a nice dodge from Rise of the hookshot. So this Clockwork so far really hasn't found as much as I think we both even expected him to. Or, well, maybe not expected him to, but we're saying that it's kind of necessary for him to start setting up the kills, create the space for the Naga. Just hasn't happened, he's even died 3 times.
Yeah, it's just not HWA's game. That could all change, but honestly, there's not an easy target to go on, especially once Vengeful Spirit picks up her level 6, which she will after this creep wave in mid. If you go on anybody, worst case scenario, Vengeful Spirit dies, but if the swap comes out halfway through, there's no guarantee that you're even getting the support kill.
I mean, this game really, Naga Siren, it could have worked out for them, and to be honest, they did get just quite a lot of space in the early like 6 or 7 minutes before Rise and Vengeful Spirit went for him the first time. But after that point, just really hasn't found too much of anything. It's all 10.5 minutes in and just 800 gold only. That's not a fast radiance.
Oh, HWA. He's completely screwed. With the Invis on the Ogre, they'll drop the Fire Blast onto him. No Chronosphere necessary to throw a Magic Missile as well, and Bland's just able to bash him down. Still holding onto that cooldown. It is a Mask of Madness for Bland.
So this is going to be scary now. This Faceless Void, he has the time lock maxed. He's going to be attacking extremely fast. And Nihi's in the mid lane, going to go down to Baby Knight as well. Just don't even need the assassinate for that. Shrapnel, just right clicks coming out, maybe a few headshot procs in here or there. Glyph comes out, but Baby Knight pops the shrapnel. He's gonna get the tower lasted. Can even harass Akimbo if he really wanted to stay around. I think he maybe even would have gotten the kill with Akimbo not being level 6 on the Abaddon, and they might even lose the bottom tier 1. They are really just crumbling.
Oh, Akimbo, he's still gonna die. He's gone. Oh, 2 HP. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, that's cutting it close, bud.
Oh man, level 3 of Photic Shield. Had he gone for level 3? Oh, top lane. There's Nico Baby gonna go down to another Chronosphere.
So, shot in mid. They found Sniper, and with the battery assault, it's being shared a little bit by the creeps. Baby Knight's winning the man fight, and HWA might fall.
No. No
that
way.
shouldn't happen. Those headshots, man.
What was it really just the one creep getting caught in the corks that saved him? Oh man. So Baby Knight 4-0-1. This sniper is just tearing up. HEHE 6.6k net worth. HEHE's highest is the safe lane farmer with 4.1. This is not the way things are supposed to go. And he has himself a Yule Scepter already on this offlane Jakiro as well. And they're gonna go for the last tier 1 outer tower. Man, what's going on?
I don't really know. Sniper now completed SNY, 2 tier 1s going the way of DD. They were forced to use the Chronosphere just recently, but honestly it doesn't matter. They're just getting so much net worth on all of their cores. Naga Siren really is kind of the last hope for HEHE, and Naga's not anywhere close to getting that relic. At 12 minutes in, usually you want to be 2/3 of the way towards your relic gold, and this game it's just not on the table for Slavi.
Man, just looking at the graphs as well, it's an 8,000 net worth lead already. About 7k in XP as well. And it's only 12, almost 13 minutes in. That's a ridiculous lead for them, to be honest. And they even smoke up as 4 now. Baby Knight leading the charge. He's so damn speedy. Especially with the face boots activated, having the SMY. And I guess Roshan could be rather easy for them with the headshot procs coming out. Minus armor is there from both the maxed out Wave of Terror and the Medallion. So minus 12 armor. Liquid Fire, Dual Breath to slow Roshan down. It's gonna be a really easy one for them.
Yeah, it is. Look how slow that Roshan's attacking. Like, this is ridiculous. It's a very secure Roshan, and honestly, HEHE shouldn't expect it. Why should they? All of their lanes are currently pushed up, like, here. There's nothing really to flag that they're going for Roshan. Usually, just expect them to be farming up their own jungle, and it's going to be an Aegis towards the Sniper. Having a wonderful time, and they can look to push into some tier 2s now. There's not really anything stopping them. As soon as Chronosphere is up, and that's up immediately as I say so.
And there is a Maelstrom already flying out from Bland's Faceless Void as well. So even if later on Naga just starts getting something, the illusions actually might survive for a little bit, or might have survived. However, he gets scouted out, he's screwed, Magic Missile, Fire Blast, Bland, time walks in. Yeah, that's not really helping their cause.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. That ward pretty much paying for itself, and this Clockwork, he just hasn't had an impact at all. He got that solo kill onto the Void, which was pretty clutch, and had he not had that, his laning phase would have been pretty bad. But outside of that, he's died 6 times. It's just not a happy place. They're going to be able to assassinate the Elder Titan's dead corpse as Bland just bashes him down. They'll take the tier 2 tower in the meantime as Bland TP's out. No way for them to cancel that, and it's a free 2 kills as well as tier 2 in their favor.
At least he get a tier 1 in return, but in no way is that an even trade for them. They are losing so much ground. At least Naga Siren, of course, hasn't died for quite some time, up to 3k gold. So suddenly, not horribly far away from the Sacred Relic. That is, of course, can he remain alive before the Relic comes out for him? I mean, I think DD, they definitely want to go on aggressive. I mean, they still have the Aegis after all. They're pretty damn healthy on all of their heroes. Why just not go for yet another tier 2?
Yeah, there's no reason. Like, if you can trade all of your tier 1s, even if they take the exact same trade 3 times in a row, that's wonderful for DD. They did use the Chronosphere, but that's going to be up in 60 seconds anyway, so they might want to wait out that cooldown, but why even do so, especially when you get a pick off. They spot out the Clockwork over in the sidelines. They are going to use the hookshot defensively. He's Yule's up on the end of that hookshot. I have no idea what that interaction was, but either way, it's going to save the Clockwork's life as he's hookshotted on destination.
Yeah, that was really weird indeed, but I mean, he makes it out. Of course, having the hookshot on cooldown, a lot of a bigger deal for HEHE than just Yule Scepter having been used. But now he's going for that mech next, and it's not far from completion, only a 500 gold difference from that. And Slavi maybe wants to set things up with the song, but what can they really set up with it?
Let's see if they get the most beautiful Echo Stomp of their life. They might be able to connect 3 with it if the Spirit comes through. They're looking for the Earth Splitter. Gonna connect onto literally everybody with the Venomancer ultimate. It's doing quite a lot of damage. Baby Knight first to drop, but he hasn't Aegis. Lobo and Rise the next to fall. HWA is getting bashed down by Bland. Looks like he's going to lose his life. Baby Knight now stomped up. It's going to be instantly taken off as they right-click him down. He's pretty darn fast on the Sniper, even slowed down by the Poison Touch. There's a nice Ice Path Macro Power on 4. They're all standing in the fire and the flames, and that's going to be enough to zone them out. Sniper survives with very little HP. Is enough to assassinate one. He'll kill off the Venomancer. Now time walk forward. They bash down to his. Even with the little heal from the Abaddon, they're going to bash 2. That's going to be a double kill for Baby Knight and a 4-for-1 trade, despite the Sniper surviving on double-digit HP.
That escape was so clutch, and all of that was thanks to the Jakiro Ice Path. Although it was only a level 2, was plenty of lockdown, especially with the Macro Pyre on top of it as well. So grand escape from the Sniper. Of course, Naga Siren did get his Sacred Relic, so actually not going to be that slow of a Radiance if he continues like this. But it's just the rate that the Sniper is farming at. Now has himself a Helm of the Dominator as well. And once they get the mech, even a Blink Dagger on Faceless Void, my god. He just wants to jump the Naga Siren, I guess. But they did set it up perfectly, I have to say. 3-man Earth Splitter to start the fight, plus Poison Nova to follow. One of the better ways to do it. But even that was not enough, just because they had the Aegis on Baby Knight.
Yeah, it really wasn't. I mean, and that's pretty hard to see for the future of HEHE. Even if they get the perfect initiation, they just need Naga Siren to buy more time. And although Slavy is going to have a decently timed Radiance, as you already said, it doesn't compare to the farm of the Sniper and Faceless Void. They'd have the Radiance plus something already completed. Ice Path onto 2. But there's not going to be any follow-up. But now with the Blink in Chronosphere, they'll assassinate down HWA. He's probably going to fall just as Maelstrom procs. He's going to get mech'd up and survives for a little bit longer, but only just. Nico Baby being shot down by the Sniper. My goodness. Baby Knight with just the Helm of the Dominator, S and Y, and the Bloodlust attack speed is already hitting like a little truck.
Those headshot procs are just doing so much for them. Of course, Plan as well doing quite a lot of damage. Unfortunately so, Mask of Madness does make it so that you take quite a lot yourself as well. But they have their own mech finish now on the Jakiro. So their sustain is going to be a little bit easier. Oh, they're going to find the Cooter. Instant time lock as well from Blan, of course. Not like it was entirely necessary, but... What was actually on it? It was a... Never mind. Why is it showing me the wrong Cooter? Nope, just a bottle. So nothing too big, but Naga Siren going to be lacking for mana a little bit. Man, what does HEHE do? I mean, even if they get the Radiance, it's going to be such a long time before they're actually, like, properly ready to fight.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, as somebody who plays Naga Siren, the bottle snipe is actually pretty significant, just to keep yourself out on the map. But either way, he'll have that back in 2.5 minutes, and at least it's not the Radiance recipe. That would be almost damning this game. We're going to have a pause as Naga Siren is... doing something. I have no idea. We have no intel about any of these pauses, but either way, things are looking wonderful for DD. I don't really want to look at the net worth graphs, but they're pretty nasty. We have 13,000 in their favor in gold, and experience is a pretty similar story, although not as bad, about 12,000 in their advantage there. So at least we have TeamSpeak issues to go off of. What that means, I have no idea. But either way, DD are really going to have to mess things up in order to lose their control in this game. Right now, their approach is pretty darn good. Just go about this systematically, take tier 2 after tier 2, and we feel it's safe, which is going to be very soon, I might add. Just go high ground. There's not really much that he can do to stop that at this point.
Oh, there really isn't. I mean, maybe wait for the next Aegis, but DD, they should be feeling comfortable just because they have been rolling over HEHE so hard so far. And before the Radiance comes out, it should be rather easy for them to push as well. I mean, just Shrapnel, Liquid Fire, and you don't really have to commit all that much. They still have to be a little bit worried of just Song for the Siren into the Earth Splitter and just Clockwork Hookshot maybe to follow, something like that, like happened in the last fight. But even then, now having their own mech, it might not mean a thing. Maybe still a lot of will come down to the Chronosphere of Faceless Void this early in the game. But man, I just don't see a way for them to actually lose fights unless they really make mistakes themselves. As long as they keep rather spread out, even the Song of the Siren initiation cannot catch all of them.
Yeah, it really can't. And Bland, with the Blink Dagger and the Time Walk, it's unlikely that he's going to mess up that initiation. Like, you're going to be able to find, like, the perfect Chronos with this. And that's why I like the Blink Dagger on Void. It's really hard to knock Blink Dagger on anybody. I think it's probably the best item in the game. That's just the strength of that instant repositioning, especially after the changes to, like, the slight delay to Chronosphere added and what have you. Just being able to get it out ASAP is incredible. And your initiation range is pretty stupidly long. 1300 from the time walk, and another 1200 or 900 if you mess up the distance on the blink dagger, and then the chronosphere radius is another 900 on top of that. You can jump them from pretty much anywhere. I don't think there's really a spot that you can't, unless you're on the other side of the map, and even then you can get close.
There really is no escape, like I said. There's just so much distance covered from the Faceless Void. Especially if somebody of their supports, for example, gets a 4-staff as well, so it can be like 4-staff into Blink, into Time Walk, something like that. It's going to be absolutely crazy, of course. If you go that far, you're going to risk the chance of actually having any follow-up to it, so... There are limits to just going for Blink Dagger or extra mobility. You always have to make sure that your teammates can actually follow up as well. They're having quite a lot of fights just generally in history of Dota, lost just because the initiator, maybe even a Clockwork for example, he gets the beautiful hookshot, but it's just from such a distance that there's no follow-up. So they just have to make sure that they don't make that kind of mistake, but if they avoid that, they'll be just fine.
Yeah. I don't know, it's going to rely on DD making a similar mistake, jumping too far with the Void, where Sniper is not there, but with the move speed that Sniper has, with Vase Boots as well as SNY and the Bloodlust on top of him, he's running it close to haste. Not quite, but pretty darn close to it. And with an attack range of 950, he's probably going to be able to contribute something inside the chrono, and worst case scenario, you at least have Assassinate and Shrapnel. And as far as worst case scenario, that's a pretty significant amount of damage to put into it.
Yeah, the Assassinate is such a low cooldown as well, 15 seconds only. When it's level 4, 10 seconds for a 655 damage nuke. I guess it is rather straining for your mana pool as well. You can like cast 2 of them and you'll be out. Atamoto has a regen rune, so can spam the Shrapnel. A few Assassinates, although Slavi, I think he's trying to set up for the song here. They really need to win a fight like right now. But can they get it? This bottom lane, Nico Baby might go down. Bland time walks forward. He already got a few bashes. Another bash comes out, and that is the kill for them. Bland dropping pretty low himself, but backtrack level 4 definitely helping out there. Gonna even go into the creeps, just doesn't care at all. That's just, oh my god, what can they do? They're just losing heroes left and right, and they didn't even need a Chronosphere for that bottom lane.
Yeah, they didn't. And with that Chronosphere initiation, it's almost impossible for HEHE to do anything. They're going to hookshot, but it misses on Jakiro. And even if they land that, he has Mech and Yule Scepter and a defensive swap if stuff really hits the fan. I'm not sure they'd be able to kill him with just the clock. And even if Elder Titan got in there for an Earth Splitter, I think it's still very unlikely. This is pretty much a desperation move, and they're not going to have that available for another minute.
And DD, they want to get further ahead. Picking up HM now on the Vengeful Spirit as well. They just want to make sure that they have no idea where they are. And of course, if they can prevent HEHE from having vision, it's gonna make HWA's life even harder, just because if you don't have vision, how the hell are you supposed to hookshot anything? So life is hard for them. At least they have the Radiance and Slavi now, so maybe they can actually start turtling up and farming up the Naga, but he's gonna have to still get like 10 minutes of more or less absolute free farm to make it worth.
Yeah, he really does, and I think this is the only way that HEHE can get back into this game, is on the back of Slavi farming on the Naga Siren. There's going to be an Ice Path, and they're killing these illusions, and although it looks a little awkward to throw spells into illusions, that illusion was probably 10 CS for Slavi if he was able to get it out into the map and farm up the jungle with it, and that just isn't in the cards for them.
At the moment, they are scouting each other out. HWA, if you can get the hookshot onto crit and kill the Vengeful Spirit and get the gem, it might be huge, but the hookshot into Baby Knight instead will catch 2. That's a pretty good, damn good one. Earth Splitter to follow as well, but HWA is so low already. Baby Knight does get caught in the Earth Splitter, still in some trouble, and he's gonna go down. That high ground was not the greatest position, and oh my god, the song just as the Chronosphere was about to come out. Never mind, still hits free. Doesn't matter at all, they're gonna clean up, although the Baby Knight's damage is missing. Can't even get the kill. Slavi gonna get stunned up. A Photic Shield keeps him alive. Yule Scepter to follow. Ice Path will land on 3. My god, Dual Breath, Macro Fire. But they don't have anything to keep them in it. So, looks like without Baby Knight being there, they actually heavily lack damage.
Yeah, that was absolutely the most perfect fight for HEHE. You get Baby Knight, he was split back by the Earth Splitter, and although that doesn't look super significant, he was stuck on this side of the Earth Splitter over in the camp. They're going to find the Vengeful Spirit and the gem on the sidelines. Lucky enough for them, the Earth Spirit, or the Astral Spirit isn't spotting out Bland, but either way, HEHE take a win, and they honestly shouldn't be winning at this point. That's now another 1,800 or 1,700 gold on your Naga Siren. Slavi's now saving up towards that Boots of Travel, and maybe there's still hope for them if they're able to disrupt the initiation of DD, and if things don't go ideally for them.
Yeah, and that's maybe one thing where Faceless Void's Blink Dagger isn't as useful just because you are dealing with your Radiance Naga Siren, but HWA might be in some trouble now. Rice, he's around, he's getting, never mind, dodges the hookshot and force-staffs himself to the low ground, but Akimbro is waiting, never mind. Plan, of course, on such low HP as well. Do they really want to go? I guess they do. Mask of Madness activated, Fire Blast is there. Ultimate pops, Yule Sceptered up, and Bland still on the run, doesn't have the ultimate, HWA coming in. Venom Scale Mech is there, and Plan has to blink out, and now Ace pops the Macro Pirate, but can't even do anything. They get the Abaddon kill, but Nico Baby pops the Poison Nova. They might even get crit here with the Battery Assault, or can they? Hookshot? Not Hookshot, the Cogs are gonna miss, but Aces will be the casualty here. This is just really weird engagements coming out. Rise will tick down to the poison damage, or well, they need one right click. I think they're gonna get it. He's fast enough. So, like, what the hell is going on here?
Honestly, I don't know. Something not great for DD. It's keeping HEHE inside this game. They just lose 3, and all they get in return is that Abaddon as well as the Naga Siren. And although the Naga Siren pickoff is important, Naga had already bought her Boots of Travel, so didn't lose that much gold from it. Now Nico Baby with the Aghanim Scepter. DD need to tighten up the screws, and I thought the Blink Dagger would have been okay since it would allow them to do so, but they're just taking these very sloppy, spread out engagements, and that's working for HEHE since they're just able to isolate heroes pretty darn well with this Clockwork. After going 1-8-1 in the last couple of fights, Clockwork has been able to find a couple of initiations, so DD can't get complacent. This is a Naga Siren we're talking about. You can't ever really count out the Naga, even though sometimes you'd like to.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's like in a 5-on-5 engagement, this Naga Siren might not have the greatest effect with like against the Maelstrom, Faceless Void and everything. He can still split push and make it so that you actually can't go for fights at all. That's really one of the biggest things about the Naga, just her split pushing capabilities. And now with the last fight as well, Venomancer has himself the Aghanim Scepter, level 2 Poison Nova. Things are gonna get a lot harder for DD unless they get the pipe anytime soon. And what do you actually make of Baby Knight going for? Oh, never mind!
Yeah, they jump in with Bland, finding Chronosphere onto 2, bashing down to his. They have plenty of damage for that one. HWA also going to fall. So scratch that. It's going to work out for DD. They find themselves a couple of pickoffs. Let's see if they get any map objectives off of that. And it looks like the objective they're looking for is the big man Roshan. It looks like they'll be able to take him in a heartbeat. HEHE. I think the best that they can hope for is Naga Siren to song and walk into the pit, but that's too damn risky. I don't expect Slavi to go for it. This Rosh is just going to fall way too quickly with the double minus armor from Venge and just everybody right-clicking. That's ages for Baby Knight.
Man, but well, I wanted to ask like what do you think of the butterfly coming out, but I guess when you have the Aegis, it doesn't really care what item you go for.
Fair enough. I like the butterfly on Sniper. I personally would have liked to see him just get some really hard-hitting damage. Maybe a Maelstrom for himself, or like a crit, but either way, he's hitting really hard, especially with the Vengeance Aura, over 200 a pop, especially if he gets those headshot procs, which will add an extra 90 on top of it, and they just can't stand up to that. The butterfly is going to be pretty useful up against the likes of the Naga Siren. I don't think it's the ideal choice, but when you're this far ahead, you can look to pick things up that are just nice items to have.
Yeah, I would have expected maybe if you just want more or less purely attack speed, I guess the armor aspect will also be decent. Although then again, it's going to be negated pretty much mostly from the natural order anyway. So maybe would have preferred like a Maelstrom into Mjolnir for the attack speed aspect, but I guess later on when the Naga Siren actually becomes fight ready, it's nice to have the evasion as well. So we'll see. The attack speed definitely will be good for them. BKB I think is finished now on Blan as well, as is the butterfly, and even a pipe. Is the pipe? Yes, pipe is done on Shakiro, so they are pretty much fight ready once again.
Yeah, and now they kind of need to accomplish something. They do have the butterfly flying out to the Sniper and the BKB for the Void. This is a huge leap of power for DD that's not going to be matched by anything that HEHE are able to pick up. Although Slavi does have 4,000 effective gold on top of his Radiance, that's into a Yasha and Boots of Travel. Although these are nice items to have on your Naga, you're not fight ready with them. This tier 2 tower at the very least should be given up, and honestly there's no reason for DD to stop here. They have all of the tools that they need to fight, and even though HEHE are completely up, I don't think that really matters much at all. Naga Siren will get the tower down in bottom, which is useful for HEHE, but not useful enough. Let's see how this next couple of minutes go down.
Well, 26 minutes in, they are definitely trying to go high ground already. I think it's a smart choice as well. Otherwise, if they back off, they're playing into the Naga Siren's hands. But Liquid Fire Stare Shrapnel as well, already forcing out a glyph. Definitely good sign if you're a DD. So there won't be a glyph to work with for HEHE, and Can they initiate? But oh god, the Chronosphere catches two once again. The minus armor comes through, but they don't have enough damage with only Blan and the Song of Siren being there. But the BKB, they catch Hawa at least. He has to buy back on the Clockwork. Might have to use it. Baby Knight will get caught in the Earth Splitter, but Nico Baby is gonna lose his life. Poison Nova only catches the one, but Pipe and Mech keep them alive anyway. And even if they lose the Sniper, still has the Aegis.
Yeah, he just needs to keep on right-clicking and get that life steal up. Baby Knight's gonna lose his first life, but now they're going to hookshot into the Ogre. But with a Magic Missile and HWA and a multicast to boot, they're going to be able to bash him down. Blanche dropping low. Miss Coil is burning down to the Radiance. Will he be able to backtrack enough? No, he won't. Naga Siren getting the Beyond Godlike, but on the back lines of the fight, Sniper's cleaning house with a double kill, securing that gem. Naga Siren gets one more. They're going to throw an ultimate of the Sniper into the Naga Siren. Swap her back. They'll be able to shoot her down. That's an ultra kill for Baby Knight and a full team wipe. They have buyback on the Veno and the Naga Siren, but without ultimates, can they hold?
Yeah, and just the three pretty much most important heroes for pushing as well stayed alive. Vengeance Aura from the Vengeful, Liquid Fire, as well as the Shrapnel coming out. So that's an easy tier 3. Naga Siren does buy back now. With the Venomancer and Abaddon coming out, even then, don't think it's going to be enough to save the Rax. So it's rather early Rax. Nico Baby does get the slow onto Baby Knight, so maybe they can actually follow up with the kill. Yule Scepter up, Ice Path to follow as well. Nice zoning, but Baby Knight doesn't have a TP, although he is pretty speedy enough. Ace, beautiful TP straight after the ensnare. Oh god, that was just literally the second the ensnare landed, or the millisecond that it landed.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you can do. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but the ability of HEHE to cancel his TPs is pretty darn limited. Baby Knight's just able to run out there, even with like the Gale as well as the Poison Sting on him. I'm still running pretty darn fast, and Baby Knight now on top, with another 4,000 gold on top of the items that he's already holding on to already. If he wants to make sure that he never dies, could go for a Satanic, but I think at this point, just go for like a Daedalus. Like, I don't think there's anything stopping you at all, especially if you have an Aegis to back that up. And when you're racks ahead, or effectively racks ahead, they do have the range barracks up till it's towards top, but they took down the melee barracks, which is the more important one.
It definitely is. That means just the lane is always going to be pushing in. I guess Naga Siren is one of the heroes that doesn't care an awful lot about like one melee Rex or anything. It's still going to just gimp their income, and they definitely need gold to work with. Because Naga Siren, as strong as she may be, Naga Siren solo, I'm not even too sure if she can take on a Sniper and Faceless Void together. I guess if anybody, then Naga might be one of the heroes which is split pushing out and everything. But she really needs to be 6-slotted to actually win in a proper fight.
Yeah, she does. Mantis Style is a good boost to power for Slavy, but after buying back that one time, that's a huge amount of gold that the Naga Siren's been forced to spend. We've said it before, and I suppose I'll say it again, Naga Siren's a hero that you can't really count out, but it's getting close to that point where DD can just straight up end this game. Naga is farming more than the Faceless Void after ending his Beyond Godlike spree, getting more than 1,000 gold for that if you include the AoE gold on top of just the raw bounty. But either way, it's still he definitely on the back foot.
So what is the plan? Is it really just split pushing and hope that DD won't force the issue with just going down one single lane? Is that really the best hope that they have?
I think so. Maybe, just maybe, you look for a pick-off with Clockwork plus Venomancer, but even then, you're going to have to commit the Venomancer ultimate if you really want to get a kill, and it's just too risky. I think you just have to let Naga Siren play the Naga Siren game. All of the other heroes can look for a little bit of map control here and there, play some words, which is exactly what they're doing. But yeah, it's mostly just hoping that the enemy team doesn't do anything now, because if they do, honestly, I don't think there's much that HEHE can do to stop it. Smoke in mid. They're going to find a swap onto the poor Elder Titan. Magic Missile as well as the Fire Blast. Assassinate flying through. Does have the Blade Mail as well as the Abandoned Shield, which is going to stop a little bit of damage, but a Yule Scepter into the Ice Path. They'll bash him down, even with the secondary heal coming out from a Kimbro. Now Kimbro being pursued. Bland running in like a bullet train, going to bash him down. They do have an Assassinate flying through, going to be cancelled, as he does have the ultimate pop. Now with the shield onto him, he'll be assassinated by Baby Knight. That's going to be a clean 2 kills going for DD, and they still hold on to their Chronosphere.
Yeah, and their damage output is just ridiculous, with Baby Knight hitting for 321 damage without the crits even counting into that. Even more damage when the Vengeance Aura is around him as well. So this, I think, is going to be the second set of racks, and they want to go for the Chronosphere. If they catch Slavy now, never mind. There's the Song of Siren, but the BKB is there. Chrono whiffs anyway. Okay, that was weird, but I guess it's like Song or Chronosphere. It's a decentish trade.
Yeah, they also buy back on the Elder Titan, so, I mean, I suppose that's okay. They'll net down Rise and hook shot onto Lobo. This might be a turnaround, but they use up the Clockwork. Battery's still going to work on the Vengeful Spirit, but now with the Pipe, they're going to Earth Splitter back, and they have the Venomancer ultimate on a lot of heroes. The Pipe is going to be eaten through almost immediately, but Nico Baby's getting shot down by Baby Knight. It's a Wicked Stick, and they lost their Naga Siren. I think that's all that matters. 1 for 4, DD can end this game, even though they're not looking too great as far as HP is concerned.
Well, it's just only an Abaddon against them, so they don't really care that much. And once again, Faceless Void dies, but it's perfectly acceptable. He used the Chronosphere anyway, although the Chronosphere didn't land them anything. And yeah, that's GG. He themselves know that there's just no coming back from this situation anymore.
Yeah, not really, and we'll have to see if they're going to be able to come back in the series. It is a best of 3 in the GG League. I believe this is quarterfinals where we're at. I haven't been casting very much GG League at all, but we'll just have to see. Right now, DD are looking incredibly strong, and personally, I don't think that this draft is any surprise. It went pretty much kind of as expected. Looked really good.
Yeah, definitely did, and this is the quarterfinals indeed, so it's a best of 3 like you mentioned. They have one more chance to just take this to a game 3, otherwise they're going to be out of the tournament completely. TD definitely want to make this a clean 2-0 sweep, but we'll see if they can manage to do so. And whoever is going to win this series will be up against either Balkan Bears or Commander Minus in the next round, depending on who wins from them. It's going to be played tomorrow at 16 CT. So semi-final is going to be the winner of this versus BBC versus K-, the winner of that one. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the game as well as the casting. If you did, you can always follow HeflaTV for more content on Twitch and Facebook.com/HeflaTV. The links are also below the stream. For the casters, it's at Coucher for me, at GrandisV for my co-caster. The names, the just handles are also in the Twitch title. So guys, see you for game number 2, hopefully in a couple of minutes time.